Are you laying awake at night worried about sending your child back to school who has ADHD or a sensory processing disturbance? Maybe you're dreading the phone calls from the teachers about their focusing issues, their meltdowns over the homework, or watching your brilliant child struggle in an environment that's just not conducive for how their brain works. If you're like most parents that I meet, you've tried the behavior charts, you've gone and talked to the counselors, you've even considered the medications, but you're still up at night searching for answers that actually address the root cause on what's really going on. I'm going to give you a statistic, and it's going to wake you up. In 2022, an additional 1 million children in the United States received an ADHD diagnosis compared to 2016. Sensory processing challenges nearly affect now 1 in 6 children. Now, the challenge is that most doctors are still approaching these conditions the exact same way they were taught back in school 20 years ago. They focus on managing symptoms rather than addressing the root cause. Now, I'm going to tell you that there's a completely different approach out there that's really going to help your child not just thrive in this school year, but actually help to thrive with their health. So we're going to jump right into it. But before I do, I want to talk to you about a story of a practice member, little Janie. Janie came to my office as a young teenager. She had a major sensory disruption, major processing struggles, physical touch, crowds, loud noises. She had this itchy sensation all over her body that would completely overwhelm her and make her super anxious. It made school and even simple tasks in her life very difficult, not just for her, but also her family. Now, Jeannie, she was so easily overwhelmed by the outside stimulation and she had so much stress built up in her nervous system, but the neurologically focused chiropractic care that we helped her with calmed down the stress, reduced the noise within her sensitive body. Now, today, Janie says that chiropractic helps to allow her to live her life. She gets overwhelmed still, but her rates of her anxiety are at a level of 3 to 4 versus the level to 8 to 9. Now, what's huge about this is that she's not just thriving in life, but she's also considering being a chiropractor herself, because I love this story about little Janie. It's so cool that it's not just how it's transforming her life, but how she wants to help transform other people. Now let's transition into this understanding of the real root cause when we look at ADHD or SPD and all the hard transitions that are occurring within the school year. Before we do this, we have to understand the real root cause of ADHD and SPD though, along with the school struggles. The truth is that ADHD and SPD, they often are characterized by an overactive sympathetic fight or flight nervous system response. There's an imbalance that is sabotaging your child's environment and their ability to focus at school. This leaves the children constantly on edge, and it makes it nearly impossible to focus and stay attentive. They cannot regulate their emotions, whether it's at home or in school. At the same time, their parasympathetic rest and digest system, which is crucial for focusing and learning, and emotional balance remains underactive. Now, the nervous system imbalance often begins with this focus of what we call the perfect storm. It's these early life stressors, prenatal stress, birth interventions, environmental factors that leave your child's nervous system stuck in a state of dysfunction. Now I'm going to go through some drug-free tips. Yes, drug-free, that's what we're all about here. And it's going to really change how you view and manage this approach. And I promise the last one, just wait for it, is going to be the best. Now, the sleep foundation is really what will change everything. It's a fundamental necessity in our life. Quality sleep is extremely crucial for managing ADHD and SPD signs because sleep allows the brain to consolidate its learning. It allows it to process its emotions and it recharges the batteries for the next day. However, most children with these conditions, they struggle with sleep. They can't fall asleep, they can't stay asleep, and it's a vicious cycle. Gradually adjusting bedtimes and wake-up times to just 15 minutes every few days will establish their calming bedtime routine. We know during summer they get to stay up later, they get to wake up later. The challenge is that you got to integrate it slowly. Start a tracking mechanism. Start it off 15 minutes each and every day. Do it slowly. Create a sleep-friendly environment that can drastically improve their focus and emotional regulation during school hours. For those teens, turn off the TV, get the phone out of their room, help them through this process. You also want to create an environment with structure that actually works. We all know that children with ADHD and SPD often struggle with excessive functional skills. Now, these executive functional skills help to create organization, help with the household environment, the command centers. It's designated spaces for school items. You have color-coded systems that can help to reduce anxiety and enable children to feel more in control of their daily routine. It's not just about organization, but it's about reducing the cognitive load on an already overwhelmed and stressed out nervous system. It allows the mental energy to be directed towards growth instead of having that regression that happens. Exercise is also a human connection that is necessary, and I'm going to explain to you how it can really start to compete against the medication that's being used. There's a medical physician, Dr. John Ratsney, and this groundbreaking research in his book Spark has shown how exercise can effectively help with ADHD in children just as much as the medication that might be used. Now, the book in a nutshell shows how very specific exercises can be very effective, and it's just 30 minutes a day to create movement, and this is going to help with that consideration or removal of medication if that's what you and your doctors are looking for. He focuses on stimulating the brain to improve the brain's adaptability. They've shown through research that the brain literally shrinks when there is a lack of complex movement. The movement helps to stimulate the brain into knowing something important is actually happening. Recommend to read the book, listen to the book. It's very interesting, and you can add parts to it to your routine. It will help with cognitive function. It'll boost mental mood, and it's going to help to manage the anxiety that is naturally in our environment. These morning physical activities specifically are used to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, and it's going to help to improve this neurological function throughout the day at school. This will give children the internal regulation that they need to succeed academically and socially. Maybe you've tried these and you're still having some challenges. I get it. I see this all the time. Parents are super frustrated because they've done these things. They've done the supplementation, they've done the nutrition, they're on the fancy diet, they've removed every sort of noise out there. But hey, the thing that you haven't tried yet possibly is a neurologically focused approach to chiropractic care. Now, when I say neurologically focused, meaning that our fundamental focus is neurology. We measure, we identify, we see where the stress resides within the nervous system. Now, this is a lot different than the mom and pop musculoskeletal back pain model of chiropractic. It's a completely separate entity, which from a perspective of a parent, it looks so foreign and different once you come into the practice. We use very gentle, very, very specific chiropractic adjustments that are neurologically focused to release tension in the overactive sympathetic nervous system while also activating the calming parasympathetic response. And that includes the vital vagus nerve. In my practice, we start with advanced insight scan technology. It allows us to pinpoint the exact location within the nervous system where stress is occurring from. Then we can create a personalized care plan that can lead to pivotal improvements with focus, better emotional regulation, enhancement in sleep quality, and fewer behavioral challenges. This approach addresses the foundational cause, which is an underactive or imbalanced nervous system. And this allows us to then work with other strategies like sleep, like organization, like exercise. And those are things that are going to work more effectively. See, if you try to train a child who's already disorganized, it creates more disorganization. If you start to work on organizing how the brain and how the body communicate together, if you improve that efficiency, then these learned behaviors are drastically more efficient. I want you to take a look at our bio in the link below. Learn how you can improve these back to school transitions and how you can start to understand and process this in a very different lens. We look forward to hearing more from you.